Man, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I want to say that, I just walked past Shady McCoy's in the hallway at the Y. Today's date is the 18th of April, so you could check his itinerary where he was at. I just nodded, we spoke in passing, but I'm saying that because that correlates to he's here, no doubt about it, doing service for his city, the city of Harrisburg. So it's just amazing how you run across people and the experiences that you have when you take a particular course. So right now, I'm on my way to execute some things. I want to stop at OIC on McClay Street to establish my presence there, that I would like to volunteer and or participate in any programming that can further what I'm trying to do out here. I also want to stop at Gaudensia and make a shortcut into their particular services and get ahead of me getting CRS training, because I could volunteer there also and also get employment through their agency while obtaining my CRS certification. I really hope that over the summer I can really embed myself into the treatment community in Dauphin County. I had also reconnected with an individual who I believe has as much potential as I have in making an impact in the treatment community in Dauphin County. She has a lot of faith in me, or she sees a lot of promise in me, and I also see a lot of promise in her. So with that being said, it's imperative for you to start to structure your reality, start to structure the environment that you are going into. Because if you allow other people to do it for you, then they're going to construct a reality in which you're reactive in and not proactive in. You're always going to be reacting to other people's plans and preparation concerning you, when it is up to you to execute on your own behalf. It is up to you to execute on your own behalf. And this per se is not something that you should take lightly. And once again, I do not want to get hit by a car, but I seem to always be talking while I'm walking, which is, I guess, what this is all about. I'm routing, I'm getting it done, I'm putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm not really obeying the traffic laws out here of a pedestrian, which I need to do better at. But anyway, just think about it like this. If you allow other people to construct your reality, don't complain. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm standing on. Don't complain. If you allow other people to dictate the parameters in which you can move, don't complain. This goes back to being in prison. This goes back to being incarcerated, where people willingly introduce themselves to the Department of Corrections. And once they get there, they complain about the conditions and the treatment of their new caregiver. Their new caregiver is commercial. It lacks emotion. It cannot afford to have an emotional connection to you because of the nature of its business. The nature of the business of the Department of Corrections is to protect the public while offering rehabilitative services or programming that allows the individual to attempt to identify and or change thinking and behavior that led them into presenting themselves to the Department of Corrections. Don't complain. I spent years in prison complaining about the conditions and the treatment, which was, for the most part, 90% of the time, my behavior causing the Department of Corrections to treat me and behave towards me in a certain way. You can't expect, or you should not expect, a correctional officer to be your friend. You can't expect, or you should not expect, a guidance counselor or unit manager to be your friend. You can't not expect for these people to be cool first. Can't give them that. You can't say, oh, I thought you was cool. Come on, man. What do you mean you thought they was cool? Oh, I thought you was cool. This leads you into being disappointed. This leads you into having a justification for bad behavior because the CO is supposed to be cool. The counselor and the unit manager are supposed to be cool with you first. And then y'all relationship starts from there. This is unbelievable. This is really the definition of setting yourself up for failure. So let's rewind. We allow the Department of Corrections to construct a reality for us because we refuse to be responsible and hold ourselves accountable in society. So we force the Department of Corrections to be our parents, our caregivers, our providers, our nurturer in a sense. Even though commercially, they will never, ever, ever be able to replace these particular things due to the nature of their business. You and I fail and continue to fail to take responsibility and hold ourselves accountable for the realities that we exist in. I just walked past Shady McCoy and a bunch of officials from the YMCA, right? And obviously, they're conducting business pertaining to service, in which Shady McCoy is trying to provide in a particular capacity to the YMCA. Funding, right? He is constructing a reality in which he dictates how he moves and is presented in the world. I walked out of that building with a purpose after having a conversation with an individual who is the director of the residence hall with a purpose to construct my reality. I am now walking back towards OIC and or Gaudensia to put forth or put in motion a particular reality that I want to live in. I want these people to know me before I introduce myself to them. Think about that. I want to be known. I want people to talk about experiencing me before I actually show up and execute the job. I want them to be familiar with me and what I'm trying to do, and I need that support. Like, oh yeah, I know Mr. Smith. He's been here several times. Oh, I know Mr. Smith. He volunteered here all summer. So yeah, we have no problem extending funding to Mr. Smith because he, without our help, without any assistance from us, reached out to us. He reached out to us. I did not know it was a clothing store right here. Yes, I did. Anyway, let's see. I guess y'all seen it when I walked past. Business. Anyway, back on track is the purpose, and I guess the ultimate goal is for me to establish that I am a totally different person than who I was going into incarceration this time. Right? I'm a totally different person going into incarceration and then coming out of it than I was. People who think that they know me, who haven't seen me in a while, would be uncomfortable with the person who I am now, which is exactly how I want it to be. The people who don't know me, who just met me, I want them to feel as comfortable as possible around me. So that in and of itself is the journey. Becoming a totally different person than who you used to be. I think I'm gonna stop at the Army and Navy store. I'm gonna tell you something funny about the Army and Navy store, right? When I was younger, I'm from the city of Coatesville, and on a downtown Main Street. Thank you. On a downtown Main Street used to be the Army and Navy store, right? And that's where I originally used to get my fatigues from, like what I'm wearing right now. BDUs, right? Army gear. My Army jackets, my Army pants. That's where I used to get them from, right? When I got locked up, I was holding a conversation with somebody, and I was like, yeah, man, he said he seen I had my fatigues on. And he was like, oh, where you get them from? I only see them in rap videos from dudes from New York. Is you from New York? I'm like, no. I'm from Coatesville. He didn't know where that was at, but fine. So I said I get them from the Army and Navy, which around my way is a natural thing to say, because everybody knows where the Army and Navy is at. He said, oh, snap. You get them from the Army and Navy. I'm like, yeah. And then it dawned on me that the dude thought or was thinking that I really go to the military to get my clothes. So I said, bro, it's a store. Everybody got an Army and Navy. He said, I never heard of that. I've never walked into a store called the Army and Navy. I said, man, I'm from a small town. All right, cool. So anyway, the Army and Navy I just walked past. I went there the other day, and I was speaking to the lady, and I told her that story, why I have a love and an affection for the Army and Navy, because it's been a part of my childhood, and it's been a part of my street image too, coming up. I say childhood because we used to go there to get khakis and dicky pants and stuff like that. But also, you know, this is before school uniforms, and we didn't, you know, they didn't do that when I was young. But it also was a part of my street image in life, because that's where I went to get my hoodies and my Army jackets and all of that stuff. So she thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. The lady, she was about 85 years old, white woman. She thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and the conversation went further. The conversation went further to say, I explained to her that I was once again home from prison, trying to do the right thing. So she said to me, you are fully capable of never ever going to prison again. And I said, I believe that. I believe that now. She said, I believe it too, because of how you came into my store and how you presented yourself to me. I do not see you for a person that has ever went to prison. You have to construct your reality with your own two hands. You have to construct your reality with your own two hands. I can't say it, more clear than that. You have to put forth the effort for you to succeed. And then people who you meet moving forward will be hard pressed to identify you as the person who you were before you showed up here. They will fail again and again to see you for the person who you were before you showed up here. Once again, I don't have no slogans or no catchphrases or anything like that, except that I'm walking while I'm talking. And I'm trying to get stuff done. So inshallah, if Allah wills, if God wills, for those people who aren't Muslim, I can have a productive day. And I can get things accomplished that are beneficial to me. And He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will keep away from me things that are not beneficial. See, I could walk up here. And literally intend to find benefit up here, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that there might be a harm up here. It might be something that will be, in the long run, detrimental to me. And I'm not saying that treatment is detrimental. It might be anything up here. It might be something that I get into that pulls me away from not having time for the salat. It might be a beautiful female up here who might pull me away from the religion of Islam. I don't have any idea about any of these things. I just have the intentions to try to seek some benefit. So that's why you say, inshallah, may Allah guide me to what is right and protect me from that which is wrong. Stand on that. Move forward on that. And inshallah, you will be okay.